All right, so what I'm going to work on now is demonstrate the most basic sort of clay preparation techniques, and we call them wedging and balling. And they're important because when you get your clay, and sometimes it'll come in this lovely bag, you need to take and prepare your clay for working, and that's accomplished by wedging it. Wedging is a twofold process where you're sort of homogenizing the clay, making it uniform in texture, and you're removing air bubbles. You don't want to have air bubbles if you can help it, because they sort of distort sort of the workability of the clay. The other thing I'll work on is showing you how to ball your clay in preparation for whether it be work on the wheel or to start a pinch pot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to cut clay. This is a wire. Wire is really simple. Take and draw it across the clay. Just draw it right through, and you get a nice chunk. Okay. So clay, when it comes off of the bag, off of the block like that, you can see it's nice and I would say void free. No air in there. That's good. Some people use it just like this for slab work. They'll cut off clean slabs. That's perfectly acceptable. However, in our case, you can see this side has got some issues, and there might even be creases. So I want to wedge this clay. So what I'm going to do, I need a steady work surface that's clean, and I want to posture myself so 1 foot behind the other, one in front, because I'm going to be doing a rocking sort of motion where I'm moving the clay sort of in a rocking fashion like this. All right, some close-ups on wedging. Again, watch my body posture. Feet spread, one in the back, one in the front, and then I'm pushing my weight through my shoulders, down through my extended arms, and into the clay. Just rocking it back and forth, moving my hands a little bit. Again, using the heels of my hand to compress into it. And again, we call this the ram's head method because it basically sort of builds a cone shape or something that approximates a ram's head. I guess those are those horns. Anyway, so wedging, preparing your clay, warming it up, softening it, getting it ready for whatever you're going to do with it. Work on the wheel, pinch it, etc. Draw that wire through. Notice no air bubbles. Again, balling. Want to create a ball of the size you want. A baseball size ball is about 1 pound of clay. You'll hear people talk about weights of clay when they're making a project on the wheel, like this is a 1 pound bowl or this is a 2 pound vase or whatnot. At any rate, balling. Get it all sealed up. Again, the size we want for the pinch pot is probably about half the size. Draw that wire through there. Get this guy down. Get him in a ball form. And then again, to start, I'm going to put my thumb in, depress it about halfway in. Okay. Pinch a little bit on the outside with my fingers. Get that second thumb in there. And some people like to do it with the base of the pot sitting on the table, and they sort of walk the pot around. Again, I'm feeling with my fingertips and my thumbs for the thickness. I'm pinching where it feels thick and leaving the thinner portions alone. And notice I'm always rotating. That's how I'm going to get a uniform sort of form and wall thickness. And remember, you don't need to pinch more than, say, 1 millimeter or so with each pass. So I might be here doing a series of 17, 20 rotations until I get the form I want. Now this pot is sort of giving me a little kind of general form. If I want to elevate this pot, I have to begin to pinch and move the clay up the wall. So that's going to take an effort where I literally am moving the clay up from the bottom with just a series of little pinches. That's also going to widen the pot at the same time, so be mindful of that. But I'm pinching and moving the clay up the wall. Okay, another way to get that, once we get this, I make 1 full revolution with these pinches, and I'll show you, is that I can take and I can then roll this on the surface, compressing it again. I still have a lot of thickness in the bottom there. So I can again sort of depress the bottom a little and then move those little movements up the wall. Okay. Consistency is the key, and continue to rotate the pot. And sort of what you do in one area, make sure you do it in another and do it in a uniform manner. We can always work on trimming the top later, but usually pretty skillfully, you can sort of make adjustments with little depressions with your fingers. So again, I can roll this pot like this if I want. I can compress the clay physically. You can do a variety of things. If you find yourself stretching the pot way out, you might want to start over again. Ball it and wedge it again. So, or wedge it and ball it again, sorry. At any rate, this is the beginning of you and your pinch pot. All right? Let's say I get a form I like today. I'm probably going to want to put a tent over it, meaning a plastic bag that leaves a lot of air around it. It's going to lose a little moisture overnight, and then I'll be able to work on it again. If I know I'm not coming back to this project for, say, 3 or so days, I might want to bag it tight, meaning make it airtight, so that moisture is retained, keeping the clay in the plastic state. All right, so there's the start on wedging, balling, and getting started on our pinch pot.